Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Tantalus Systems, a channel empowering the electrified future with their smart grid solutions. Joining us as always, Peter Londa, the Chief Executive Officer. Welcome back.
Kyle, good to see you.
You as well. We got a whole intriguing topic that I think is highly related to those big hedge funds that are looking for companies that are more ESG focused. For people that don't know, that's the environmental social governance. And you guys actually have a really in-depth plan behind this, whether it's helping reduce utility driven miles or your 2030 reduction plan of getting it down by 30%. Can you kind of just intertwine exactly what's going on here and give us a brief look under the hood for this?
Yeah, absolutely, Kyle. So always a pleasure to be with you, and thanks for the questions. Tantalus issued our first annual environmental, social, and governance report, ESG report, on June 14th. And it's been a multi-month major investment that we've made to be in a position to not only articulate some of the things that we're doing internally, but how, more importantly, our technology really helps the utility industry reduce their environmental impact, improve their social contributions to their communities, and certainly improve their reporting. So on the E side of the report, a couple of really exciting metrics to share. Last year alone, 2021, Tantalus helped utilities meter, meaning monitor and sort of manage 57 million gigawatt hours of renewable energy, and helped utilities, by using our technology, avoid driving 12 million miles throughout the various service territories of the roughly 250 utilities we support today. By helping utilities meter and manage both renewable energy and avoid 12 million driven miles, in the aggregate, it translates into approximately 50,000 metric tons of avoided CO2 or greenhouse gas emissions on an annualized basis. And as we continue to secure more utilities and continue to help automate and digitize their grids, those numbers that we can quantify are only going to continue to increase each year.
And I feel as though it'll almost be exponential just from this whole EV revolution that's coming on. I don't think people realize how fast utilities are going to be faced with these questions of maintaining and kind of just getting involved with the tech that's going to help structure all of that. Now, from the social governance side, you did mention kind of the wildfire white paper. You want to just give a few more insights there as well?
Yeah, so we issued last week a white paper on how utilities are using our new artificial intelligence, AI-enabled data analytics tool to mitigate wildfire risk based on what's unfolding in their distribution grid and with the assets they maintain. Within the white paper, we were fortunate to highlight a utility based in Colorado. It's the town of Estes Park. And what that utility has done in rolling out a very comprehensive and really thought-leading program across the entire utility to try to mitigate the impact and not only from an environmental perspective, but a social and security perspective for their community, right? Mitigating the risks that any of their equipment or anything that they do in delivering electricity to their residents could lead to a wildfire. They're based in the mountains, the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, and a lot of their power lines are through mountain valleys, heavily forested. God forbid they get a device that starts to spark or insulation that starts to get eroded, that can lead to a wildfire. And so with our analytics tool, they were one of the early adopters of the solution. They've already pinpointed some vulnerabilities in power lines, in transformers, and other equipment that they have running through the forests and through mountain ranges across the Rockies. And as a result, making direct upgrades and investments to fortify and improve the resiliency of their grid and certainly mitigate wildfire risk. So, great environmental component there that also ties to the security and the safety of their community.
And do you want to just reiterate that kind of long run, your 2030 reduction plan here?
Yeah, so we've set some internal targets. One that from an environmental perspective, we're seeking to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions to phase one, scope one and scope two greenhouse gas emissions that we're responsible for. We're trying to reduce that by 30% before 2030. From a social perspective, Tantalus is very fortunate. We have a pretty diverse community of employees. About 35% of our employee base today falls under what's referred to as BI POC, so Black, Indigenous, or people of color and gender diversity. And since we sit at 35% today, our goal is that by 2030, all new hires coming into Tantalus, the goal is to try to get 40% diversity for all new hires by the end of this decade. So 2 ambitious targets for us that we think are achievable, and ones that we'll continue to report on an annualized basis.
Well, on that note, I really appreciate your time today, Peter. I'm going to pass the question off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you guys think about this, as always, in that comment section below. And consider subscribing, because as news continues to hit the wire, we'll always update you here. But on that, stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you in the next one.
Thanks for your time.